Hi, Voracious James here. This is my first YouTube video, and I really didn't want this to be my first YouTube video, but I just got done watching R3DPlaystationFilmer's review of the Awakened Fate Ultimatum. And I wanted to leave a comment, but I had a feeling he would just delete my comment. I tried to give him a thumbs down, but he disabled thumbs up and thumbs down on the video as well. I'll put a link to R3DPlaystationFilmer's original review of the Awakened Fate Ultimatum down below in the description section. So you can click that link and go check out his review, and then you'll be able to understand where I'm coming from. He mentions in his review how he doesn't like how the game uses Christian imagery, and he seems offended by this. He goes on to say how he doesn't think God should be used in video games, that they should just leave this stuff out, blah blah blah. R3D, this is directly to you. Maybe you should research Japanese culture and Japanese society before you condemn them for using Western religions in their pop culture. The Japanese very often use Christian mythology in their anime, their manga, in their video games because it's exotic to them. You have to remember that Christianity is not a dominant religion in Japan. The main religion in Japan is Shinto, and then it's followed by Buddhism. Being a Christian in Japan is an extremely rare thing. So to them, this seems extremely exotic, extremely foreign, similar to how we Americans use Odinism and asterism in our comics and pop culture and movies. For example, look at Thor. Thor is a Norse god that we use in our comics and our pop culture. But do you really think Thor is portrayed in the Norse mythology as we portray him in our comic books? Not exactly. And I'm sure if there are people out there that still practice Odinism and asterism, they might get offended to the way we portray Thor. Though I highly doubt if they're an educated person they would get offended because they realize that most people in this country no longer practice that religion. The dominant religion in our country happens to be Christianity. So the reason why Japanese use Christianity, it brings a flair to their games. It spices it up a bit. Like, for example, the word angel doesn't have the same meaning to a Japanese person as it does to, for say, a North American or a European. You also have to remember that they're mixing in Japanese mythos into the Christian mythos. And in Japan, demons can be both good and evil. Angels can be both good and evil. They don't actually use the words angels and demons, so you have to keep in mind these are the words that we use as translations. These are the words in English that we as English speakers use to describe what they are using in Japan. You mentioned in the video, in your review of the Awakened Fate Ultimatum, that you don't like how they portray God as good and evil. Though, as an atheist and someone who doesn't practice Christianity, though has read the Bible, the Abrahamic God, which is the God of Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, does seem to me to be good and evil. I mean, what kind of good God would kill off the entire population except for a man and his family in a boat with a few animals? That doesn't seem like a nice thing to do. That seems very Hitler-esque, if I dare so say. Now, did I just compare God to Hitler? Yeah, I did. I mean, Hitler tried to wipe out a whole entire race of people, and God, apparently, I mean, if you believe the flood myth, wiped out an entire population of people. And then he did it again in Egypt. He killed off their firstborn. That seems like pretty evil shit to me. That doesn't seem like a good God. Now you have to remember, as a Japanese person, if they were reading the Bible and they're reading Exodus and they're like, holy shit, this God, just because these people kept slaves, he decided to kill their firstborn children. That's pretty fucked up shit right there. He must be a good God, right? He's not an evil God. Like, do you think people who practice Odinism and asterism, if they play Max Payne, do you think they get mad that the main drug in Max Payne is called Valkyrie? Most Americans played Max Payne and, you know, they did not once enter their head about Norse mythology. We hear the word Valkyrie and we usually don't, most Americans probably don't even make that link between the word Valkyrie and asterism. It's because we don't practice that religion. You have to remember the word devil in Japanese doesn't have the same meaning as it does here in the US. So I think it seems very ignorant of you to condemn them for using Christian mythology in an Eastern game that was made for an Eastern audience, and you as a Western person not understanding it. Now, I won't have my comments disabled. You can comment, you can send me hate mail, you can send me props, whatever. I'm not going to censor anything. The idea behind my channel is to be completely open. I'd appreciate it if you subscribe. There will be more stuff coming. The main stuff on this channel will be politics, video games, pretty much anything that I find interesting in the news, pop culture that I need to comment on, that I just need to get out. This will basically be my outlet to you. I've been doing it on Facebook for quite a while now, and people seem to be interested in what I have to say, so here it is. I'm spewing my garbage of the mouth to you, the world.